Well, it's the last week of the preseason, so most spots are already locked in for specialists, making this a quicker episode just covering things you might have missed. First, we're going to take a look at the high school punt of the week, featuring Matthew Kick-Fil-A Lexington, who hits a dong shot to put the returner into panic mode inside his own 10, where he eventually falls on the ball. The first and biggest story coming out of this week, of course, is Matt Ariza and the allegations of him participating in a multi-man non-consensual escapade against a minor back at SDSU. These allegations are pretty serious, but we have our first statement from Matt where he says essentially nothing except for the fact that he acknowledges there are allegations and he plans on disputing them eventually. Also, new photos of the victim's neck have come out where we see some pretty serious bruising from the alleged crime committed. Regardless, that led to Bills quarterback punting for them this weekend with a 40-yard average and even this nice punt down inside the 10. Who needs punters anyway? Aside from that, in the same game, Zane Gonzalez got injured warming up, leading to punter Johnny Hecker handling a PAT, and we wish Zane a very speedy recovery. This takes us to the Packers-Chiefs game, which was essentially decided by special teams, as the Packers did a worse job of returning a football than a socially anxious team does returning the wrong order to their waitress. And the Chiefs ran the ball all over them like they were some nice AstroTurf. Texans signed free agent kicker Matt Amendola, who missed inside 40 but made from 45, so do with that what you will. Also, Cameron Johnston went a perfect 5 for 5 inside the 20 for the Texans, so I will continue to ride this man until he stops being amazing at his job. The Seahawks narrowly escaped with a loss to the Cowboys despite Myers giving us the Wendy special 4 for 4 and Mahar missing yet again from 61. This isn't like a bad miss, I'm just surprised that they did it back-to-back weeks. The Chargers, after getting embarrassed last week, allowed 0 punt return yards, and Dustin Hopkins missed one from 50, which would have brought them within 11 points of a victory. Costly mistake by D-Hop. The Patriots vs. Raiders game made the collective boy parts of every specialist out there stand at salute, as the punters had 11 total punts with a collective 50-plus yard average, and over 50% of those punts going for 60 or more yards in the air. But that is what to be expected when two punting behemoths take on each other, such as AJ Cole and Jake Bailey. Both teams were also 100% on field goals and extra points, making this game extremely satisfying to watch. But what comes after that is a day that should be celebrated as a national holiday, and I will forever remember the 27th of August as Golden Saturday for that magnificent display of punting that happened seemingly non-stop all day as many punters put on the performance of their lifetimes. It actually seemed like the entire punting world was on its back foot, waiting for a moment to unleash godlike levels of punting, and after a blocked Jaguars punt, it all came to fruition like the Thanos snap bringing order to the universe. Both Cook and Pinion would go above 50 yards per punt that game, and Cook would snipe the 5-yard line with his beautiful banana punt. Both Riley Dixon and Drew Crispin would average above 50 yards per punt in their efforts this game. The Ravens would help young punter Cameron Dicker get some film, and on his first game with them, even he balled out of his mind, putting up some great numbers and pinning the commies deep in their own territory. And did Tress Way ever make the most of his limited opportunities, hitting a couple of dong shots to keep the flock near their own end zone. The Eagles punter had such a great day, he actually got his own video, but I'll just say this: 6 punts, 4 inside the 20, a bunch inside the 10, and almost a 50-yard average. And don't forget Thomas Morstead putting up 54 yards on his 2 punts, showing that the old man of the 08 class still got some juice left. Stonehouse got all the punts for the Titans, and boy did he make his case as to why he's the future of the organization, as well as the future of punting in general. Those who know I've been high on Stoney for a while, but he is exceeding my already very high expectations, with 3 of 7 punts staying by the 20-yard line, and a humongous 69-yard boot that bounced backwards from the 1-yard line to stay inside the 10. The Bears-Brown game was probably one of the least exciting when it comes to Saturday, with still some exceptional puntings on both sides of the ball. But when the Colts came out and signed Mac Hack after Rigo's injury, boy did Mac come out with a vengeance, putting up 50-plus yards per punt, 5 punts, and 4 of those staying inside the 15 with 0 return yards until the final punt, completely flipping the narrative about him from Buffalo. It's also worth noting the Bucs gave up 10 yards of return per punt, which isn't good, and it's one of those little things I keep bringing up and needs to eventually get addressed before the starting week because this could become a bigger issue for them. But then Ryan Wright came out to show out in his first ever official game as an NFL starter, and I can't think of a better way to get it done than with 4 punts, a 56-yard average, 3 inside the 20, and this beautiful 69-yard punt to the 2-yard line. Just how he drew it up with absolutely 0 luck involved. On the flip side, neither luck nor long snappers were on the side of our poor punter Sam Martin, but it did make for one of the funniest reactions I've ever seen in a while. But that game concluded a masterful day of punting, and God saw it and said, "It is good." This brings us to our last two games, where Gillen repeated history with his botched snap, but was able to make up for it by getting the punt off, saving what was otherwise a very good game where he averaged 55.6 yards to boot. And the Lions and Steelers brought us home with no notable punts, but solid performances by both punters, concluding our preseason. So thanks everybody for coming along. Leave a like if you like these breakdowns, and as always, I'm going to catch you next week if you miss anything else.
For return. What a punt this is. What a punt by Ryan Wright.